Here are the articles right here. This is the report that was released today by the FBI dealing with the Casey Anthony case. FBI tests have concluded that human decomposition and traces of chloroform found in the back of Casey Anthony's Sunbird, and that's part of the report. Now, the DNA tests concluded that the hair sample found in the back of the car could not be confirmed whether it's Casey's or Caylee's, and they even took a sample from the hairbrush that Caylee used. But one of the things they did say, Jane, is that there was that the hair sample showed some decomposition of that hair strand at the bottom, as they call the dark band or the death band, Nan.
You know, I'm looking at this report. It's 35 pages, as you mentioned. It's very detailed. It's the kind of thing that us lay people are going to have a hard time analyzing, but we've got forensic experts here tonight. Let's take a look at some of the conclusions of Dr. Michael Arnall, board-certified forensic pathologist. He's going to analyze this in a second, but he read the whole thing. Here's what he concluded. 1, decomposition occurred in the trunk of the car. 2, that decomposition is human. 3, the decomposition lasted about 2.6 days. 4, the decomposing tissue included 1 human hair. 5, the human hair belongs to either Casey or Caylee Anthony based on mitochondrial DNA analysis. And 6, Casey Anthony is not decomposed. In other words, Casey is alive. So, doctor, does this show that Caylee is in fact dead?
Yes, this is evidence that one of the hairs on Caylee's, well, either Caylee or Casey's head is decomposed. And as we know, Casey is not decomposed. That leaves Caylee with a decomposed hair in the trunk of the car.
So now, this has been stated often, but why can't they get to the point where they can figure out exactly whose hair this is? This was a mitochondrial DNA test, but apparently there are nuclear tests. There are more detailed tests that can be done on hair. Is the fact that we didn't get the root of this hair what's standing between really identifying whether it's Caylee or Casey's once and for all?
Right. We each have both mitochondrial DNA in part of our cell and nuclear DNA in another part. What they were able to find is mitochondrial DNA. However, the other evidence, that is, the evidence of decomposition, suggests that whoever that hair belongs to, either Caylee or Casey, was decomposed. And as we know, Mom, Casey, is not decomposed.
So basically, for our viewers, what you're saying is that this hair shows signs of decomposition, which means a dead person. In other words, the person to whom this hair belongs is dead, right?
Right. This hair belongs to a person who's dead and decomposed.
Okay. And therefore, it can only belong to one of 2 people based on the DNA testing. That is either Caylee or Casey. And since Casey is clearly alive, even though she's sitting in jail tonight, then wherefore it has to belong to Caylee, wherefore she is dead. Now let's bring in Dr. Lawrence Kobylensky. He is a forensic scientist, and he is also a consultant to Casey Anthony's defense team. Kobe, did you reach the same conclusion? And again, you're working for the defense at this point, but did you reach the same conclusion that this says basically she's dead, the child is dead?
Jane, let me address the issue that Dr. Arnall just raised. He was very clear that it's either Casey or Caylee's hair. That is supposed to be based on mitochondrial DNA analysis. What Dr. Arnall is not telling you is that mitochondrial DNA is not unique to an individual, but not only is it not unique because all maternally related relatives have the same mitochondrial DNA, but also non-relatives. There are certain non-related individuals that share the same mitochondrial DNA. So this is speculation. This is not scientific fact.
Wait, you're saying that somebody accidentally dropped a piece of hair in the trunk and they just happened to have the same exact DNA as Caylee and Casey, but it's not Cindy, because she's alive, so it couldn't be her hair, but it's somebody else who then somehow ended up dead or was dead?
Well, Jane, I'm not saying anything of that sort. And as you know, I cannot comment on the specifics of a case that I'm working on. But I will say that the conclusion that this hair is either Caylee or Casey is simply not scientific. It's a speculation.
All right, well, Dr. Arnall, shoot back.
I agree with precisely what he said, and the defense will be confronted with the problem that someone who is dead and decomposed has mitochondrial DNA consistent with either Casey or Caylee. So you'll develop a list of people in the neighborhood who could have been in the trunk and who are currently missing and decomposed.
That's my point. That's my point, Kobe, is that statistically, the probability of it being anybody else but Caylee is minute to the point of being ridiculous.
You know, statistically is exactly the right word, because we deal with statistics. We do not have a unique profile. The statistics may be more common than you would think. And the relevant population may not be in the block. It may be in the county or the state.